Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go, this is Valley News Live at 5.
A Jamestown nurse is making a big-time sacrifice. She's been isolating from loved ones since July to make sure she can go to work each day as hospitalizations surge amid the pandemic. Valley News Team's Courtney Lockey shares her story.
All of Rachel McDonald's experience
I've been a nurse for 10 years.
Could have prepared her for this.
Most weeks I'm working 4, sometimes 5, 12-hour shifts.
She's one of 2 nurses working days at the Jamestown Regional Medical Center. After working with COVID patients,
I got really sick and ended up in the emergency room myself.
And falling ill herself in July, she decided to stay in isolation at home.
110 to be exact.
110 days, 6 feet apart at all times, keeping away even from her husband and 16-year-old son.
Hugging is my absolute favorite. So it is hard for me not to do that, but I know the benefit of not doing it outweighs the risk right now. And that's what keeps me going.
McDonald wants to keep her family safe. Even more so, she wants to guarantee she'll never miss a day of work, as people need care now more than ever.
That's just what nurses do. We don't put ourselves first.
A gesture so selfless, McDonald wasn't about to escape this hug.
That's my work partner, Paige. She's one of my best friends. It was our 3rd long weekend, 12-hour shift, and I just needed a hug. I feel like we're in a war, basically, but a healthcare war. We're truly the last line of defense. Our public are the frontliners. I'm waiting for that finish line too.
In Jamestown, North Dakota, Courtney Lockey, Valley News Live.
McDonald is asking you to do your part and take precautions to help overwhelmed hospitals around the state. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz will be announcing more COVID restrictions tomorrow, including changes to fall and winter sports. The governor confirmed today that it will affect football playoffs. New York Mills Public School is already canceling its football season due to COVID outbreaks. The official announcement will come tomorrow at 2 in the afternoon, so stick with Valley News Live throughout the evening for updates and reaction. Traffic is back to normal along a stretch of I-29 in South Fargo after a short vehicle chase. Authorities tried to stop a vehicle for reckless driving on County Road 17 south of Horace. Deputies learned the vehicle was stolen out of Richland County. They used spike strips to stop the vehicle on I-29 and arrested the driver, 32-year-old Hamid Zuri. He faces multiple charges. Moorhead police are asking for your help finding a missing man. 28-year-old Marwan Assad was last seen November 12th. His family says when they last saw him, he didn't mention leaving the area. Assad is from Kurdistan and speaks very little English. He was last seen wearing a gray winter jacket and black pants. He drives a black Hyundai Elantra with Minnesota license plate DNS 366. If you have any information on Assad, please call Red River Regional Dispatch at the number on your screen. After a cold start to our day, we're hoping tomorrow is better. But first, we have to get through this evening. Hutch, how's it looking?
Well, we have wide-ranging temperatures across the area. Look at Roseau dipping down into the teens as temperatures are falling quickly in north-central portions of Minnesota. We're steady in the low 30s here from Jamestown to Fargo, and in southeast North Dakota in towards Bismarck, temperatures are well into the 40s this hour. Warmer air trying to punch in. And we do have a few clouds kicked off by that warm front as it's slowly working its way off to the east, trying to rustle this cold molasses air mass out of here. It's going to take some time. But here's how it impacts your evening. What a beautiful shot there from our home of economy location in Grand Forks. Look at this. Temperatures steady in the low to mid 20s here as we go through the next couple of hours. But overnight, we're going to see that warm air start to arrive. Steady to slowly rising temperatures for many of us into your morning. How warm do we get on your Wednesday? We'll have the breezy details on that. We'll look ahead at a chance of some snowflakes in the forecast for a few of us as well in just a little while.
All right, thanks, Hutch. A Grand Forks man is facing several charges after officers say he assaulted them and lit himself on fire. 21-year-old Ernest Lee Jr. is charged with criminal mischief, assault of a police officer, 3 counts of attempted assault of a police officer, endangerment by fire, and preventing arrest. UND police say they were called to 3904 University Avenue on October 3rd for a possible domestic violence incident. When they got inside, they saw a fire on the stove and in the oven. Then they noticed Lee Jr., who they say was naked and then later assaulting officers. He threw himself in the fire before being arrested and was taken to a local burn unit. A Fargo man is behind bars after court documents state he was watching porn and touching himself at a popular downtown diner. Fargo police say they were called to the frying pan just after 3 in the morning on Sunday for 41-year-old Mark Siles watching porn while touching himself in a booth. An officer confronted him, then caught up with him again later at another restaurant doing the same thing. Stiles has been charged with 2 felony counts of indecent exposure. A Cass County man has now pleaded guilty to killing a man outside a Horace bar. 25-year-old Jordan Pendleton pleaded guilty to felony manslaughter and aggravated assault, as well as 2 misdemeanor counts of simple assault. 31-year-old Marlon Klatt died from his injuries after an assault at Big Irv's bar just before closing time on June 28th. According to court documents, Pendleton punched Klatt in the face and hit his head on a sidewalk. Authorities arrested 25 domestic violence suspects after a 1-month enforcement operation by the High Plains Fugitive Task Force. It's called Operation Sanctuary, and it was conducted throughout the region, focusing on Cass, Clay, and Burleigh counties. The task force partnered with local law enforcement to make those arrests. Coronavirus cases at nursing homes are spiking again. In the first week of November, new cases tied to nursing homes surpassed 24,000. That's the worst it's been since early August. Just this week, nursing home deaths have topped 2,500. Carter Evans reports from Salt Lake City.
Craig Watson visited his mother Ray at the Avalon Valley Rehabilitation Center in Salt Lake City every Sunday until early March when the facility closed to visitors.
I had no idea I would never see her again.
Almost 5 months later, Ray tested positive for coronavirus. Watson could only say goodbye over FaceTime the night before she passed away.
What's your favorite memory of your mom?
She was a character. I mean, my favorite memory of her is her personality. She was always good and up for anything, and she was just a lot of fun, and I miss that.
While most facilities have banned outside visitors, residents are still at risk of being exposed to the virus through unknowing caretakers.
Frustrated for us because we couldn't see her, but there's people from the outside that are probably more likely exposed than we are going in there every day.
We cannot create a bubble around the elderly folks living in nursing homes.
Rebecca Gerges studies public health policy at the University of Chicago. In a newly published paper, she looked at 6 states currently experiencing surges, including Utah. As cases in the community rose, she found weekly cases among nursing home staff more than tripled, and resident cases more than quadrupled from June to October.
We find that community spread is the largest predictor of which nursing homes experience cases, and then which nursing home experience a severe outbreak with lots of deaths.
Part of the solution includes rapid testing of staff on site. 87% of nursing homes now have access to rapid testing machines, but a Kaiser Health News study says concerns about accuracy and a shortage of testing supplies have prompted many facilities to continue to send samples to laboratories. Experts believe eliminating test delays and reducing community spread are critical to reducing nursing home infections.
I just think it's common sense to do everything we can, whether you believe it's political or not political. It just seems common sense to protect the most vulnerable among us.
The Avalon Valley Rehabilitation Center says it cannot comment on individual patients. The center says, like other facilities, it works with outside contract healthcare professions to give residents the care they need. Attorneys for the family of a Georgia man who died after being tasered by deputies says a history-making state Supreme Court decision will send the deputies involved to trial and set a precedent for how law enforcement officers are prosecuted in Georgia. Dashcam video from Washington County shows 58-year-old Yuri Martin in 2017 walking along a road as deputies approach. Bystander video provided by attorneys shows 3 deputies using a taser on him.
That the review of these videos by the Supreme Court, which they were allowed to do, clearly played a part in their decision to reverse the lower court.
The 3 deputies were all terminated and indicted. In 2019, a judge granted them immunity. A Fargo woman is thanking Facebook for bringing a class ring back to its rightful owner after nearly 30 years. Maria Bozak posted on Facebook saying that she was cleaning out boxes and came across an Erskine High School class of 1986 ring. She found it years ago in one of the houses she lived in and never found the owner. 24 hours after she posted on social media this past weekend, she solved the mystery. Tim's wife, Susan, will be picking up his ring this week. She says he lost it 30 years ago. Up next, another social media platform has jumped on board with disappearing messages.
And there was a chill in the air this morning, single-digit readings for many of us. But southerly winds today have warmed things up, particularly in southeast North Dakota. Many of the rest of us will warm up tomorrow. Details in your forecast are straight ahead.